Hey everybody, Nathan here from Star Wars Beyond the Films at StarWarsReport.com and the Star Wars Timeline Goal on StarWarsFanWorks.com, bringing you a look at the last of the Hoth Cycle Force Packs for Star Wars the card game, the LCG from Fantasy Flight Games. This time we take a look at Escape from Hoth. Now so far, we've gotten the original game, we have the first deluxe expansion, Edge of Darkness, and these Force Packs have been being released. And so far, we have 6 of them. And the idea is that they come out in cycles. So there's one theme in this case, and that, of course, is the Battle of Hoth. As we go through the so-called Hoth Cycle, we get different developments within the way that the objective sets are set up to sort of fit with the way that the story, plays out within The Empire Strikes Back. Now, this is the end of this Hoth Cycle. We're going to get more in a new cycle coming up very soon. They've already announced that, plus another deluxe expansion. Suffice to say, we've gone through the Desolation of Hoth, the Search for Skywalker, A Dark Time, Assault on Echo Base, the Battle of Hoth, and now we're at Escape from Hoth. This time we get 5 new objective sets, 64 through 68. We start with the Jedi one here, A Hero's Resolve, with a new Jedi-aligned, of course, Luke Skywalker here. A generic Snowspeeder, another Tauntaun, Battle of Hoth, and, kind of amusing because we're talking about Hoth, Heat of Battle. Perhaps that's why the battle's going on. They just don't want to freeze to death. In this case, we get an extra copy of that objective set. That's the only one for the Jedi faction. For the Rebel Alliance, we have Evacuation Procedure. And I don't know, that's a character's helmet down there. From a certain angle, it almost looks like she's supposed to be wearing a midriff and pregnant or something. Just an odd placement there, the way that that original artwork winds up being partially covered by the text. Anyway, we then get another Han Solo, this one for the Rebel Alliance as opposed to the Smugglers and Spies faction. Torin Farr, right, the announcer, of course, on Echo Base, stand by, eye in control, fire, and all that stuff. Got some good stuff to do back in Tales from the Bounty Hunters, or Tales of the Bounty Hunters. The Bright Hope, also getting something to do in that story. Buried Outpost, and another Battle of Hoth. Again, we have a duplicate set in this case. For the Sith faction, that, by the way, those are the only 2 we get for the light side. For the dark side, we get the Sith. The Executor arrives. And it is Executor, not Executor, because that would be an Executioner. Executor. Yeah. And of course, with the Executor arrives, you figure we get Executor. We then get ISB Liaison, and another ISB Liaison, which I'm glad they tell us is a character. Otherwise, maybe you were hooking up with an Imperial Security Bureau agent for some fun, happy time. And look at this guy's face. Kind of makes you think he's saying, oh baby, of some kind. We then get Sith Holocron, Aggression, and an extra copy of the set. We then get, for the Scum and Villainy faction, Hunt Them Down. That gives us Dengar Ewoks. Sorry, good old Republic Forces Radio Network reference there. We have the Kirax-class Assault Fighter. This is originally from Star Wars Galaxies. And another of those. Then with Remote Hideout. That's what happens when you can't find the remote to control your television. It's in its remote hideout. Target of Opportunity. And an extra copy of this objective set. And finally, we have the one that cracked me up when I first saw it. It is a Dark Side neutral objective set here. Number 68. Endless Reserves. Okay, never mind the fact that what we're looking at here is in the era, of course, of the classic trilogy. Specifically, in this case, in theory, around The Empire Strikes Back. And at this point, not all the stormtroopers are clones, so Endless Reserves might not exactly fit. But I find the fact that this says Endless Reserves kind of amusing, because then look at the cards you get with it. Vast Resources. Vast Resources. Vast Resources. Vast Resources. And, I kid you not, Vast Resources. They have actually given us 5 of the same card, a useful card, but 5 of the same card with this objective set. That is absolutely mind-bogglingly ridiculous to me. Granted, it may be useful, but I don't know that we've seen this ever before. I mean, we've come close, with some having a lot of different copies of one card, but an objective set that's just the objective and 5 of the exact same freaking card, that's kind of nuts. Anyway, we do get another copy of this set. So to round out the Hoth Cycle, we get 2 new light side sets, or objective sets that is. We get 3 new dark side objective sets, although only 2 of them having more than one freaking kind of card in it. And it is kind of nice that in this case we do get 2 copies of each objective set, so there's no need to buy a second one. You may recall there's a limit on 2 of any type of objective set inside your decks. So, not too shabby. I like the fact that we get some new versions of existing characters that of course give us a chance to introduce them into gameplay, not having to use the original way that we saw them in there. Makes for a nice end of the Hoth Cycle, but I am definitely excited to see what's coming up next with some more expanded universe characters being thrown into the mix. With that, we wrap up the Hoth Cycle. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the gamers.